Yes, guys, welcome back again to Left TV. The Club World Cup now is officially over, and Chelsea have beaten PSG 3-0 in the final. I think, fair play to Chelsea. I don't think many people really thought that they were going to win. I think pretty much everybody had PSG down as winning this game because PSG haven't have had such an incredible year, winning so many trophies. I think everyone thought again it's just going to be another one added to their collection. But you know what? Chelsea done really well, and they deserved the win. I mean, they were incredible. Yeah, I think it shows that this PSG side isn't an invincible team. They're not a team that can't be beaten. Because I think even in the Champions League with the run in the knockout with all the English teams, they still struggled. They still had their struggles. I mean, obviously, you see the Alisson masterclass when we played them away, 1-1-0, and then they come to Anfield and had to win on penalties. Again, not an easy feat, not an easy game for them at all. Even Villa kind of dismantled them at home, but then when they went away to Villa, then Villa really put the pressure on them, and they were so close to even going through. Really, it was just a couple chances not being taken, and PSG just about managed to escape really. And then again with Arsenal, even Arsenal as well, really close. And when they played them away, they could have easily gone and won that game. But again, it's just the fact they weren't clinical enough. And I think that's a really big thing, is when you're playing PSG, you just have to be clinical. I think that's the only way you beat them. You have to be a clinical team, because if you're not, and we know how good their attack is, and they'll just dismantle you and just have the potential to score absolutely shit tons of goals. I think like Inter Milan found out in the final. But again, you know what, they played really well despite that, though. Again, it's definitely not to say to knock down that Chelsea performance at all. It's just a reminder, again, against English teams they definitely did struggle a bit. But yeah, no, it was a very good win for them. And you know what, again, Cole Palmer, man with 2 goals and the assist. What an incredible player. He's been for Chelsea, and he'll continue to be. Literally one of their main players, if not the main player in their team. Such a vital player for them. They've started to have other players come in, really make their mark, and solidify how important they are in the team. Like Caicedo's had a really good season as well. He's such an important player for them. But I think Palmer just shows in a couple of games. I think where he was missing, if I'm correct, but where they didn't look as good. But as soon as he's back in that Chelsea team, he's just incredible. And Maresca now has really kind of got hold of his team, and with Cole Palmer as well, being able to make tactical changes, not just playing him as a 10, but you see he's playing out wide mainly in this game, and that that really exposed PSG. So again, one incredible game for Cole Palmer, like absolutely incredible. And I think what this game shows is that how close Chelsea are, I think, to being in for the title challenge for in a season. I think I've said before, I think it may take them another season to get to that point to be title challengers. You never know. I think they have the potential to challenge it for next season, definitely, with how well they played this game, and having this transfer window. Maresca has this window now, and has had the whole of last season to get his best 11, to kind of get his tactics in and everything like that. He's had that bit of time now where there's a good chance that he's again, when he brings in the players he wants as well, and he gets his best 11, there's a big chance that they could go on a challenge for the title. I think it might take them another season, if I'm being honest, because I think he's been there a year. Have another year, a full year in the Prem. Here's another transfer window in January, and then you have another summer window, and then bam, into the next season, to 26-27 season. I think we'll really see a big title challenge from Chelsea. But definitely to say that they could definitely do it this window as well, this season, sorry, as well. I just think they probably need a couple more players potentially. I think they've made some good signings. João Pedro obviously showing he's had a big hit so far, and I think Delap is another one that will prove to be a pretty good signing. It's just that I think one place they're definitely missing is a keeper. I think Sanchez definitely played really well this game, and he had a shout for man of the match in this game. But I just think, seeing how he's been last season, I don't think he's going to have the same games he had for this final. I don't think he's that kind of keeper. He's not consistent enough, and I think that's the one place they really need to have an upgrade on. Because again, he definitely played well. I think maybe his performance was a little bit overhyped, just because I think some of the saves he made would be made by other keepers in the world anyway, and kind of saves that kind of should be made, some of them. But again, not trying to hate on him or anything, but in my opinion, I think those saves were ones that a lot of keepers should be making anyway. But again, his dominance in the area and everything, and his kicking was a lot better with that they have, and they were exceptional in fairness to him. So again, but if he can do that more in the league, then maybe they could challenge for a title again. But in my opinion, I think they just need another kind of keeper that's a bit more just better than him, more consistent, to really help their chances. But who knows? Maybe Sanchez will prove me wrong, but we'll see in the season. But yeah, they definitely got a good chance. And Chelsea as a team as well, they just seem to be a team full of rage baiters as well, to be honest. I mean, I think the biggest one we all know is Cucurella. I don't think anybody in world football really likes him. I think the only people who like him are going to be Chelsea fans. Everyone else, I don't think they're going to have a liking for him, because you know what? In fairness, he is an annoying player, and he does it really well. He really does. He does wind up teams. He winds up players really, really well. And we saw that with João Neves. Bit of a hair pull, in my opinion, probably not enough to be a red card. I think that was kind of harsh, but João Neves kind of fell for it and did pull his hair after being wound up and got himself sent off. I mean, at that point, it didn't really matter in the game. They'd already had the game won anyway. But you know what, there's something he's good at, and something he does in the Premier League as well. So I think with other players as well, João Pedro is a player is a bit of a mental player, and will wind up players. They have a lot of players like that in their team. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that comes in the Premier League as well, because we know refs are not ones for being very good in England. So, and again, they fall for a lot of things, fall for all the diving and everything. So yeah, we'll see how that happens. But yeah, not bad at all. I think one thing with this final was, and probably the whole thing with the World Club Cup as a whole being in America, it's just so Americanized. I mean, he had a halftime show for some reason in this final. I think like announcing the players one by one and stuff is just very strange. You had superior players of the matches, just not man of the matches. I don't know why. It's very weird. It's one of those things. It was definitely I think a competition that proved me wrong a little bit of how good it was and kind of how entertaining it was. But it definitely shows in America it's not a great thing, because I mean, one, the calling breaks, there's a lot of those slows games down and everything. It brings the pace down of it. You had the things with thunderstorms and some getting matches postponed for either a little while or hours. Again, and that's just a worrying thing for the World Cup. I think that I would hope that wouldn't happen a whole lot. And plus, again, it's just it's a massive place for people to travel. Obviously, in Europe and everything, there's a big distance to travel, and even the distance to travel for venues as well. I think in the World Cup could be a problem, but yeah, that's my only real complaint about it. It's just too Americanized. It's not something that we like to see. It's not something, obviously, that's normal to us in Europe and even anywhere else in the world. So it's just a weird thing, and hopefully in the World Cup that won't be as bad. It probably will be, but it's just I would hope it wouldn't, because it's just annoying that nobody wants to see that. You're here for the football. We're not here for a half-time show or anything like that. Nobody cares about that. But hopefully, that won't happen as much. But I'll probably be wrong with that. I probably will. And I think the other really strange thing was obviously Trump being in the trophy lift with all the Chelsea players. I think we see, it's reported on that a lot of players were very weirded out by it. And again, I'm not surprised. What's the reason for him being involved in that trophy lift? There shouldn't be. And as well, he was also interviewed at half time. It's just really weird, like what I know he's the president and everything. It's in America, it's the final, but again, we're here for the football. It's about the football. Nobody wants to be hearing him at all. We want to be hearing, again, at halftime, you want to hear the analysis of the game. You want to hear other things. You don't want to hear him. And again, in the trophy lift, that's for the players. They've gone and won that competition. They should be able to enjoy that trophy lift, enjoy the celebrations. Obviously, they can afterwards, but it's just weird seeing him there. It's just not. It's something that shouldn't be happening, and it's annoying that it happens because that's for the players. And again, I'm not even a Chelsea supporter, but again, I think for any club who would go on and win it, I'd be annoyed for the players just because it's for them to enjoy it. Kind of like takes the light off of it, and you see with the media, that's all they were then talking about with that trophy lift, when that shouldn't be the case. But yeah, that's just one of those things. It's very annoying. Hopefully, again, that wouldn't happen in the World Cup or any other competition or whatever might happen in America with football. But yeah, hopefully won't see that with the World Cup either, because again, who wants to see that? Nobody does. It's about the players. It's about the fans and enjoying the moment and everything. So yeah, hopefully that won't happen again. But yeah, good match. Fair play to Chelsea. Absolutely brilliant performance by them. PSG looked pretty. They were just really bad. I mean, they were nowhere near what we had seen them, obviously in the Champions League and everything. They were brilliant then. They just seemed maybe like a team the matches have caught up to them a little bit potentially, considering they had the harder side of the draw as well. Chelsea played easier teams, so maybe that caught up to them a little bit. But again, that's not an excuse anyway, because again, you're in a final, you should be able to play with your full energy. But again, it might be a thing of there's a lot of matches being played, and even going into the start of the season, you maybe could see that a little bit, because there's not a lot of time for them to rest, and then they go very quickly into their pre-season now. So again, maybe that was a reason. But yeah, to be fair, PSG have had such a good season anyway. I don't think they'd be too upset with it anyway. But yeah, although the right at the end of the game had a bit of a scrap and everything between the players and Luis Enrique as well as João Pedro. So yeah, maybe it meant a lot more to them than you'd think. But yeah, anyway, yeah, fair play to Chelsea. And yeah, you know what? It wasn't a bad competition, but I don't think it's going to be surpassing the likes of the Champions League or the Premier League or anything like that anytime soon. But yeah, that was a little review there for the match and it as a whole. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for listening and watching. See you on the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay safe and peace.